Gemini. This is Fox Astrology and Tarot here with your love, astrology, and general tarot reading for the month of August 2019. So starting off on the 3rd, Mercury goes back into direct in Cancer, so that should make things a little easier to communicate emotionally. On the 7th and 8th, we have the Sun trining Jupiter in Scorpio and the Venus trining Jupiter in Scorpio as well. So I've brought out the Two of Love. I feel like in this situation, even though there's this struggle with Scorpio and Jupiter really pushing you to expand intimacy, expand a deeper awareness of what's going on inside, vulnerabilities, maybe even some shadow work, emotionally, romantically. I feel like it's a positive thing here that will bring things together for you. If you're in a relationship, this is going to help improve intimacy, improve awareness of each other. And if you're single, if you're on your own right now, this is going to really help with your own self-awareness, just becoming more aware of yourself emotionally, working through possibly some romantic things, maybe some issues from the past, relationships from the past. It's probably not the best time entering into a new relationship since you are doing some more kind of, I guess you could say, some inner work. But altogether is going to really help with some maturity in relationships in the long run. So it will be helpful. On the 13th, we have the Sun in conjunction with Venus in Cancer. They're both really close to each other right now. I brought out the Love Feast because I feel like in conjunction with Venus in Cancer, this is going to be obviously a little emotionally charged, but is all about nurturing, protecting, very family oriented. So in conjunction with the Sun, this is getting a big boost of energy. I feel like the Love Feast is a great example here to talk about passion, balance, harmony, maybe even a little self-care, a little awareness and self-wellness. This is probably a pretty good time for developing new relationships, but if you're in a relationship already, this is going to be a great time to spend lots of time together, to be able to go out and do fun things together, maybe doing some pampering or just, having some time where you take care of your bodies together, like a spa day or something like that. Or even just going out to enjoy the arts, that sort of thing. Later on the 16th, we have Mercury squaring up with Uranus. So this is going to bring in some tensions as we get into, obviously, maybe some communication issues, but ultimately some walls are going to come down. Some old behaviors are going to get brought up that are not helpful, and as a result, it's going to clear some room for some really positive improvements. Even though this is kind of similar to the Tower card in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, this always makes room for new things, especially with Uranus in Aries. Is going to be making room for new improvements, reforming old behaviors. So real positive improvements in the long run. Later on the 17th, we have Venus entering Leo. On the 18th, we have the Sun entering Leo. And later in the month too, we have Mercury entering Leo. All these planets entering Leo, I decided to just kind of group it together. And here we have Esclarmonde de Foix. This card, I feel, really exemplifies a strong Leo type of energy. And considering we have the Sun, Venus, and Mercury all together, I feel like this is a great kind of a side to Leo to bring out. I would say this is a perfect time if you're in a relationship to really give credit where credit is due. To really recognize the strengths, the advantages of this person being in your life, really showing them and how proud you are of maybe the work that they're doing, maybe the relationship and how well it's doing. A really good time to really, like I said, to recognize each other's strengths. And that will really boost the attention that this is going to be really trying to attract into your life. Leo's really going to want to show off the best version of themselves. Leo's really going to want to provide positive examples in the world, positive role models. So this is a great time for that. Later on the 21st, we have Mercury in trine with Saturn, which is currently in Sagittarius. Now in Sagittarius is currently, if you have a Gemini Ascendant, Sagittarius will be in your 7th house. So take a look, by the way, if this is just your Gemini Sun or Gemini Moon, take a look at the videos that I've put together for your Ascendant sign and see what's going on in that video, and that would really help. Because the 7th house for you is the house of partnerships, obviously of committed romantic relationships as well. So this is important. You may be looking for sort of a sense of adventure as Sagittarius is in your 7th house, but with Mercury trining Saturn, we're going to see this kind of a wave of energy bringing in organization, bringing in communication, bringing in analysis, bringing in kind of logic. So it's a great time for you to really kind of take account of your relationships, of your partnerships. And as a result, because you're kind of in that mind frame, this is also a great time to enter into committed relationships, as you'll be on your game. You'll be noticing the details, you'll be noticing red flags. So if you're in a relationship, this is a good time to get on the same page, maybe have some boundaries defined if you're having struggles with that. But otherwise, if you're on your own, if you're single, if you're looking for someone, this is a good time to be out there and trying to manage your relationships. And the last transit we have here is with Uranus and Aries. We have 3 different planets trining with Uranus and Aries on the 26th. We have Venus on the 28th, we have Mars, and on the 29th we have the Sun. So I'm going to bring out the Bonhomme card, which is basically the Fool, or like the new beginnings kind of card for you. Uranus in Aries right now is really fiery, really wants to transform, structures, transform behaviors, transform perspectives. And seeing as it's in Mars, Venus, and the Sun, I feel like what's coming into your life romantically is you're going to see maybe some shifts away from old behaviors and old ways of doing things, old ways of running relationships. Gonna shift into new structures, new thoughts, new ways of doing things. And I feel like with Mars especially involved, there's gonna be kind of an infusion of willpower. Things are gonna come really easy for you to really make some improvements and some changes. So if you've been having struggles doing some of that in the past, this transit is really gonna help push things through to the other side where you're going to really feel some results. So I'm going to do a real quick reading for you just to see if there's anything in general message-wise for your love life in August this year, and see if we can get some inspiration. All right, so I feel like ultimately there's a couple of messages here. Maybe you're going to feel a little caught off guard. There's a lot of fire sign action this month, a lot of water sign action this month. And, water for an air sign may kind of feel like you're getting a little doused, like your energy's a little muddled and put down. But fire is also going to be inspiring. So you might feel a little, really kind of all over the place. Emotional, maybe really passionate, and this may stir up some conflict, but the message here from the skunk is obviously learning to recognize how you're creating your environment romantically by setting expectations, setting standards for yourself, so that other people, when they see the way that you treat yourself, the way you hold yourself, the kind of respect that you command in your life, they'll learn that from you. You're the one that teaches other people how to treat you. And so the skunk really wants you to recognize, this month may bring some opportunities for you to draw a line, have some boundaries, show who you really are, and really be more conscious of what you're creating in your life. The coyote has this reputation as a trickster, as a guy who comes in to mess things up, very low-key type energy, but the coyote also wants you to understand that there's an opportunity to laugh at yourself and not be too strict about really your reputation and sense of the fact that you can make mistakes, the fact that sometimes you may feel embarrassed, sometimes people may perceive you as maybe immature or kind of off the wall, but the Coyote just wants you to recognize, just let go. Sometimes it's okay to laugh at yourself if you trip, if you make a mistake, if you kind of appear to be funny or silly. Don't take it too seriously. Allow yourself to make some plans and try and go for it, but ultimately not everything will 100% work perfectly, and if you just learn to have a good sense of humor about it, you'll roll with the punches and everything will work out fine. The Black Panther, I feel, is the strongest message here for you though, and that's just surrendering to this mystery, surrendering to the fact that there's going to be things you don't understand about the world or about romance or about maybe if you're single, maybe you're having difficulty understanding your journey romantically. If you're in a partnership, maybe you're having difficulty understanding how your relationship is really going to work in the long run. Surrendering to this mystery allows you to have a better and more, I guess you could say, practical and positive attitude about the process, about the journey of romantic relationships. If you can recognize that every relationship is going to provide to you lessons, even if you feel like the relationship won't last, it's important to take as many lessons as you can with it. But this mystery is really recognizing that there will be ups and downs, there will be things that you don't understand, there will be things that you will never know, and that's okay. It's okay because you're just trying to figure things out and you're doing your best. So I think the overall message here for you is recognize that you're great just being yourself. You can be vulnerable, you can make mistakes. You don't have to worry about your image so much, because if people are really taking it so seriously about the actions that you take, then they're just some people that they're not really going to see the real you. And if that's the case, honestly, they don't really deserve experiencing you in their lives. And if you make that clear, like I said, drawing some boundaries, you'll be able to feel safer in that environment. So hopefully that helps you for the month of August. Really looking forward to any feedback that you have. Feel free to comment below. You can hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to catch more, and hit the bell if you want to get notified as soon as I upload more videos. So I also put together, like I said, check out the sun or moon or ascendant sign videos that I made. If you're not just a Gemini ascendant, if you have a Gemini sun, check out the video for that. If you have a Gemini moon, or I think I mixed it up. Basically, if you have a different sign for your ascendant or your moon or your sun, check out those videos. I'd also love to hear your feedback on those. So have a good month. Peace.